Hi, my name is Lissy, and you are watching the public tutorial for the Hazelwood set, which is a real pencil set for Procreate. So if you're using the iPad, maybe this is something for you. And if you're using Procreate, then maybe these brushes are for you. And I just very quickly want to jump into the video because we have a lot to draw. I just want to quickly show you the brushes in it. They are inspired by real pencils, and these ones, the first ones that are under the real pencils part, they are done to mimic how real pencils would look like. I like these more for line art and doing line work on certain artworks more, or more like something that we are going to draw today, because what we are going to draw today is going to be very nice and detailed. And after that, I decided that I should not only include these ones, but I got myself some Faber-Castell pencils to get the real deal and to be able to give you the real thing. So I'm going to show you the ones that were inspired by Faber-Castell, which I felt like when I was using on paper that it was much easier. It's a very big size now and it's a very small canvas. When I was using it on paper, then it was easier to put the shades together and it was less textured if I was using it on smoother paper. So I made them like so that they mimic the feeling. Like this one is very smooth paper, and as we go towards the others, they are different kind of paper feels and different kind of ways that the Faber-Castell pencils were working for me on paper. And honestly, it was so much faster to work with these than the digital pencils. So I just made these for a quick pencil look and to give that real pencils, because Faber-Castell is the real pencil. But I would think that these are the stars of this set. I also made some different shape blockers that you can use to block out shapes carefully. This is the exact same as the other one. It's just pressure sensitive, so you can use it in different ways. So I'm not going to include that in this preview. And I just thought that these were a fun way to do some really cute illustrations and add a bit of interest to your illustrations as well. So I included these for fun, basically, because art is supposed to be fun too. The next part is some shader brushes, some real pencil shader brushes that I need a new layer for. Sorry, I am so sorry. This is a really nice pencil one that looks like you're tilting the pencil. I forgot to say that obviously the real pencils, when you tilt them, then they are going to become wider. So they do the real pencil kind of look as well. And we have some hatching here for pencil hatching, and I'm going to include a video in the set that will teach you how to make your own pencil hatch, so you don't have to go with my textures, but I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this for yourself to make the perfect hatching for you. So that there's that in the set, so don't have to worry. You don't need to go with these if you don't exactly feel like that these are your style. I think they turned out really well, especially this one. This is my favorite one. I put some dithering in it as well, just for accents, because these are very doodly. So we have dithering, and we have just random splatters as well. Splatters. I don't know if you can call pencil splattering, but it's a splattering one, I guess. We are almost done with this set, I promise, and then we are going to get to drawing. This galaxy shader is one of my favorites as well. And then we have some really thick scribbles. These are all the shading brushes that are in it. And I added a very special part here. These are one of the things that I like the most. I don't know why. These are such weird shaders, but it somehow makes me happy to see these weird textures. Oops, sorry, too big for this canvas. I will zoom in so you can see better. These are my favorite kind of shaders that are like just chicken scribbles, basically. And I love them. So yeah, these are the 3 little extras. So this is the entire Hazelwood set. Maybe I shouldn't have undone that. And you can get it in the link in the description. But let's just move on to the video, so I'm not taking up too much time here. So for the tutorial, I was thinking that we would redraw one of the drawings that I made for the mock-up that I was gonna do. But then I thought, oh my god, it's too cute to keep it for myself. So we are going to draw that. I have a really big canvas, as I mentioned before. It's 6,000 by 7,500 that I usually use. And these pencils are usually fitted for this canvas that I have in the set, which means that if you are using a smaller canvas, then you can go to properties and increase or decrease the maximum size to fit your canvas needs, which if you decrease, then obviously it will be smaller, and if you increase, then it will be bigger. And you can even make very big shader brushes like this from these pencils as well. And if you are not happy or want to get back the original one, then you just go to the About and Reset brush. So now that we are through this, I'm going to do something that I don't usually do. I am going to redraw one of my drawings, which is very unusual for me since I don't usually redraw drawings. So I'm going to use the reference tool in Procreate to reference my own drawing. And I'm going to pick some kind of brown color because I want it to be more of a vintage kind of look, and zoom in a bit to see what's going on, and start drawing. So when you draw, you usually start observing big shapes. Well, when I draw with pencils or sketch with pencils, I observe the lines because I like the line quality that you can get like this fuzzy way of looking. It kind of looks like it's kind of sketchy and fuzzy and cozy. I don't know, I really enjoy that kind of look. So I'm going to go and just very roughly see how my lines were going on that previous drawing that I did. And you can see that it's quite crooked compared, but very not. It's really just an initial sketch, and You can get as crooked as you like, because we are going to fix it as well. It's much easier to fix it when you see the whole picture together, I think. And you can already tell that it's off. So I'm going to move this towards the middle, and I'm already feeling like that this brush is too dark. So I'm changing the color too. And I'm going to go over it once again. And this time I want to make sure that this area, which will be the place where the hedgehog will peek out, is refined and going as it should go. And I am not going for perfect copy of this drawing, because I think leaves can be whatever shape that you like, especially when they are this fun shape. Oak leaves are very versatile, I think, or can be very versatile. And even if they wouldn't be, this is an illustration. And as I always say in my videos, we are illustrators. We are drawing what we feel and not the exact reality. So feel free to modify it the way you would like to see the leaf. But I am just going to go on and make some lines. This might be a bit vague for you, that I just go and draw it. The thing is that I've been drawing plants for most of the time, so for me it comes really naturally. So it's really hard to teach you how I see plants. I did a lot of observational drawings of plants so far, and if you don't know the observational way of drawing, which is completely fine, I have a tutorial on it, on how to observe anything from real life and then draw it. But the gist of it is what we are going to do right now. Obviously, we are not observing real life now, but I'm going to observe what I drew before, which is, I see that I drew the shape of the hedgehog like a round circle, and it's more to the right side that it shows more of the spikes. So I'm going to make a kind of oval shape behind the leaf that is showing the hedgehog's basic shape. And I also see that I drew the little arms like triangles, or like this is not the triangle, this is very much four four angles, or a rectagon. Oh god, I am sorry, my mathematical shapes is going away from me in English knowledge. I am very sorry, but it's the shape. Rhombus? No. Oh my god, I will not try to depict what shape this is, because I will just dig myself deeper in this hole. The other hand, I am just, as you can see, I'm drawing really simple hands, and that's because I don't feel like that the hands has to be very interesting. I remember that when I first drew the arms here, I was very conflicted if it should have the little armpit, but I think it makes it look a bit better. And here comes the arm. I'm going to erase some of this leaf, and I just realized that my eraser is not good. The way you change eraser is you long tap the eraser button, and then you will erase with the same brush as you are drawing with, so you get the same texture as your brush, which it can be a really useful thing when you are doing very textured drawings. So that's just a little tip for you if you didn't know that. I think it will not be the same drawing. I hope you are understanding that. And I do not want it to be the same drawing either. I want it to be its own thing. And I hope you can see properly what I'm doing, because my canvas is very much zoomed out, because I just want to see the shapes for now. It doesn't have to be zoomed in for the shapes. We are not doing details. We are just comparing what is on the left side of this canvas, which is the reference, to what it is on the right side, which is our drawing. So we are not doing exact drawings. And if I would zoom in, you already saw it just now, that it's very jaggedy and the edges are not good at all, but it is all right, because this is just the initial sketch. And that might feel overwhelming to you, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what kind of person you are. Drawing with pencils in Procreate takes a bit of time. So if you like spending time on a drawing to be super detailed and super beautiful, then this is definitely for you. If you like to smash out artworks in half an hour, it's not for you. I'm sorry. But there is sets for you in my arsenal, but probably not this pencil set, because this one is super, super detailing and very, very delicate artwork, or you can do very, very delicate artwork with it. Also, I guess you can change the sizes, and then you can smash out the artworks really easily as well. I'm not judging, by the way. I love smashing out artworks. Like it's not a judgmental thing. It's quite tiring actually for me to do so many pencil drawings at the moment. But I think this set turned out. I always say that it turns out, or that it turned out to be one of my best, but I think that only means that I am always improving, which is a good thing, I guess, because that means that I can provide you with better and better experiences with the brushes. So I do feel like that it turned out to be one of my best sets, to be honest. And I am really proud of it, that I can do better and better stuff, because I am such a perfectionist, like painful perfectionist. So it's really important for me, and it's making me feel a bit lighter to know that if I am okay with it, then hopefully other people are as well. Anyways, so I have been trying to get this shape together to feel like I like the leaf, and I added some details on where I want the veins to go. And here comes the so-called hard part, because this was hard for me the first time I did it, because I couldn't position the eyes correctly, that it would look cute and not creepy. So I'm just drawing 2 circles very quickly in the little O, because she's saying O. And I'm going to draw the pupils as well. It's not an overly complicated facial expression or an overly complicated face. It's just literally the fact that I am bad at positioning eyes. I am struggling a lot with it with my little emojis as well, the mano emojis. I always position the eyes wrong, and then I go like full hours and just trying to position the eyes correctly to be cute. I will draw a little cheek. In this case, it will be covered, and I'm not sure yet if I will like this, so I'm going to lay down some. I'm still only just sketching, so I'm going to do some of the spikes just very quickly to see if I like what I'm doing. This is a very, very scribbly way of drawing so far. So we are not doing anything special. You don't have to worry about perfection. This is just putting down lines. Not like you have to worry about perfection at all. Not with me. Please, do not worry about perfection with me. Says after she's saying that, oh, I'm such a perfectionist. I want every brush set to be perfect. Ah, Lizzie. But yeah, I didn't have this part in the initial drawing, so it's gonna have like a bit of hair up there. But I think it's okay. So now I feel like this sketch is done, and I'm going to change my eraser to be the crow one. I like this crow one to erase because it's more textured, not textured, it's a wrong word, more bigger and almost crayon-like eraser, so I can erase bigger areas with it than the pencil one. And I am still not happy with this color. I might be super focusing on the color of the initial drawing, which is probably not a good thing. So I will just change back to the previous one. We are not going for full copying. So what I'm doing now, I still have my brush on full size, and that will not change for this canvas. If you have a smaller canvas, obviously your brush will be smaller, and you should change it to the size that you enjoy using. I'm going to start detailing with the easiest part, which is for me the arms, since they are, I'm going to zoom in so you can see better what the reference is. This is easier for me because the arms are just dark. I just did them to be dark, which means that from the palm, there's no palm on this, so from the fingers I just start with darker and I do these scribbly lines. It almost feels like you are doing when doctors sign something, they sign like this kind of stuff. So you do doctor's signatures to do some line work here, and it will look a bit more like a plushy kind of effect. And I will do the armpit as well. It's a very rough artwork compared to some of the other art that I did for this set, but I think it's really cute, so that's why I used this one to be a redraw, because I don't know, I just really enjoyed drawing it, and I thought that maybe you would enjoy it as well. And also I selfishly thought that well, if I liked redrawing it, then it will be easy to make a guide about it. I am going to do the stem, and I'm going to jump around on this image, by the way. That's a fair warning for the future. The reason why I do this is the jumping around, that is because I want to see the entire drawing going through the same stage. If I overly detail one part, then I struggle to see what I am doing with the other part, which is okay if I do artworks that are super detailed. but this one is not supposed to be like that. This one is supposed to be like a cute drawing, not an overly detailed drawing to be put in I don't know, a scientific album. So what I do with the stem is that the edges are darker, so I press down my brush. Otherwise, I'm very light-handed. I use my brush very lightly. My pencil is going very lightly on the screen. And otherwise, when I'm doing the stems or the connections, when this connects, it got a bit too dark here, then see, this is what I meant, that it's easy to erase with it because it's a bit textured. Then it's a bit darker because it connects, and then I press down my pencil a bit more, and I will also make some kind of edge for this leaf that is more defined, but otherwise I will keep all the scribbly lines that I made as a sketch because I think it looks so charming. So I am going to even maybe enhance the scribbly lines that I made as a sketch and do some of those doctor signature shading here in the closer areas too for some extra lines, because why not? It's a fun drawing. So what I did here is a split vein, I think I was going for. Sometimes when I talk, when drawing, I forget what I was going for when I was doing it. It's so easy to talk and draw at the same time. It's just like hanging out with a friend sometimes, and the intention can be lost sometimes, and that's fine in some cases, but some cases when I want to teach you something new, maybe it's not so fine. And in this time, I just want you to learn something new. I'm going to do the other arm now and darken this area, and the fingers. I think these fingers turned out much better than the original one, actually. And I see that that arm is darker, so I'm going to go darker on this one too. And he has a little armpit, so armpit gets some shadows. And I'm going to work on the leaf first before we move on to the spikes. The spikes will be a very familiar way of drawing for my patrons, because I already taught them in March kind of a similar way of drawing, so they will have a bit more practice with the spikes, but now you will learn it as well. And you are noticing probably that I'm using this one brush for the entire drawing, and you might ask yourself, what if you're using one brush, then why do I even need the entire set? Well, honestly, I like using very limited amount of brushes for my drawings because it gives a cleaner look, and I switch it up for how I want it to look, or what texture I want it to have. And if I want to mix textures, then I will switch it up as well. But otherwise, when I do like this kind of drawing, I just use one brush to make it look cleaner, and the brush works in my favor. Less is more. And you might not like this brush that I am using. This is my favorite from the set, by the way, the 2B brush. It's definitely one of my go-to brushes. Fun fact, the original drawing was not made by this. The original one was made by the Will-O-Wisp, the Faber-Castell inspired one. So it's a bit smoother than this one. This is a very rough one compared to that one, but yeah, I am a big fan of this 2B brush, so I'm using the 2B brush, and I don't know. Let's just focus on the leaf without me trying to sell brushes to you. I am really not good at selling, and I don't like promoting myself either. Sorry. So for the leaf, I like that it has some variation in opacity and line strength, and I like that in the little scribbly lines that we are doing, and I hope you're doing it as well, it gives the leaf a bit of a texture that, of course, like, you don't realize it, but when you zoom out, you see that, oh, this leaf is textured. It's so delicate. And I love how delicate it looks like. The delicacy is one of the reasons why I really like the drawing like this, that I'm not erasing the sketch lines, because it gives I don't even know what else word I can use for this. It just looks like it's a fragile, cute drawing that could be in a little book, and it just looks like more charming for me as well. So I don't know. I like not erasing the sketch lines. I'm going back to the stem here a bit, darkening some areas to get some shadows going. And for the stem, I use some short, this kind of lines to add some depth and texture to the stem as well. And I'm almost happy with how the leaf looks like. So we are going to move on to my hedgehog, which I'm really nervous about, I have to tell you, because of the eyes. The eyes freak me out. So let's do the spikes first, because the eyes scare me now. So the spikes, to make a good spike, all you do, I will do it separately so you see. This kind of shape, it's a little bit of a fang, I guess. And you do lighter lines to the edge. So like a fang, and then lighter lines inside, and then darker at the edge. And this you can do in a very scribbly way. It will not look this clean that I just did here. It will look way, way scribbly. But this is the thing that I'm doing. I just wanted to show you separately, so you know that what is happening. It takes a bit of practice to get used to this kind of drawing method, but you can, if you soften it and make curves in it, you can make fur with this as well. So or this method as well. But yes, it's a very easy method to make both spikes and fur, and make or give lots of details very fast to your art if you are drawing with pencils. And yeah, I just scribble away, and rotate my canvas. I'm so sorry for rotating my canvas. I am very bad at the drawing in one angle, and I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to this, that I can't draw on a straight canvas all the time, and or never basically, especially now that I don't have my desk here where I am, and I have to lie down on my stomach to record these videos, so my hand is not very agile to draw, so I have to use my wrist to draw, that I would not suggest, by the way. It's bad for your wrists. So I'm going to scribble away. The amount of times I said scribble in this video, scribble away to do the spikes of my hedgehog. It's gonna be in a relaxed state. Even though the pose itself and the eyes itself would suggest that it's gonna become a ball. And as we know, ball hedgehogs are not very relaxed, and they don't usually have their spikes so nice and down. I'm going to move the reference. I am doing way more down than I did on the reference. I don't know, I felt like on the reference, or the one that I'm copying now, I felt like it was cuter to have it more up, but I feel like this time it's better to not, just to try something new and to make it a bit more different from the original one. I feel like the spikes would show here, right? Yeah, I think spikes would show up here where that hole is in the leaf. You noticed that I zoomed out again? It's because I want to see how the overall effect looks like when I'm just drawing the spikes. I also very rarely lift my brush when I do this kind of work, the spikes, or when I draw fur, or when I draw shading. So my pencil time lapses always look horrible because it's just boom boom, it's there. So it doesn't look like I took much time on it. And yeah, it's I don't know if it's a good or a bad habit, because the bad part is that if I undo this, look, I'm going to undo, then like half of my drawing is gone. So if I screw up, which I can't really screw up because this is pencil art, so in my book pencil art can't be wrong. If it's wrong, I just erase. But yeah, what I was going to say, that I don't usually lift my pencil when I'm drawing. I can even go like 5-10 minutes without lifting my pencil. I realized it lately when I was doing a really big portrait, big as in time consuming, and sometimes I was just drawing for 10 minutes, and like not lifting my pencil, and like, oh no, I didn't want to draw that, and then I undo, and then half of the portrait is gone. No, not half, but like the half, like, just a lot of it was gone. And yeah, so I kind of sort of decided not to undo when doing pencil and just use eraser instead, since I can get so into the texture drawing. We are reaching the end of the blocking out of the spikes. I think it looks really cute, but I want to make these edges softer, and the way you make it softer is to just not make it as big. And I'm also adding some darker lines here to give some shadows and depth to the spikes, like how the light hits it maybe. I wonder if my mic picks up that the pigeons in our garden are doing the cute pigeon sounds. I am actually more happy with the shape of this little guy than the one that I did before. And we are just going to add some more darkness to the spikes and some more definition. And there are two things that I dread about this drawing. One of them you already know, it's the eyes. Sorry, the dog. Okay, so we are going to move on to the eyes. I had a little bit of interlude here with the dog. Decided that she's bothered by someone. So when I draw eyes, I usually make the outside part darker and the inside lighter. And in this case, I'm going to lay down my pencil on its edge to fill this circle in with the side of my pencil. So sorry, I already lifted my pencil. So it gives a bit of an idea of what or how it will look like. And I'm going to define the outer shape first, and then the inside shape, the edges darker, especially the two sides and the top, and not much on the bottom, because usually the top is darker on eyes because of the eyelashes. He doesn't have eyelashes, or she doesn't have eyelashes, but it's a habit I picked up when drawing portraits, and yeah. And I am going to very softly shade this in with the tip of my pencil. I will make it darker on the edges and lighter in the inside. And darker on the top and lighter on the bottom. I will make sure that I will have this small pencil texture all over it showing, but I don't have to fill it in completely, since we did the side of my pencil in the beginning, so I don't have to worry that some part will not be filled properly, because it's already filled with something else from the beginning. It's actually really satisfying to draw eyes. Don't know why I was so worried about it. Well, I was so worried about it is because I can never draw a circle. Or they are not never the same size. We are going to do the same on the other eye. I make him a bit like, or her. So I make her a bit cross-eyed because she's looking at something that is above her, I imagine. So I'm doing the same thing again, just filling it in with the pencil very lightly, and you can you I think you should always start lightly and then build it up from there, except when you are confident like me right now that the top will be dark, and then lighten it up a bit towards the bottom and the side. Just go around again. Darken the mouth. And I'm going to use white to make highlights. I'm not completely satisfied with this one. But now I am. So I'm going to go back to the previous color in Procreate, and I'm going to do some more just very, very light scribbles around where there would be shadow. Like here, right under this leaf, there would be shadow, since it's casting a shadow on our little dude. And speaking of filling out spaces, I'm going to very lightly fill out the white of the eyes, since we know that the white of the eyes is never truly white. It's a bit off-white. They don't want it to be the same as the same color as the... Why do I always want to say squirrel? This is not a squirrel. I don't want it to be the same color as our hedgehog itself. And some more random scratches along the body. And I might will try to make different feet this time, because I was not completely happy with the first one that I did. And I thought it was a bit weird looking. So maybe something like this. I actually don't know what the footprint of hedgehogs are, so please don't hate me if this is wrong and not anatomically correct. see when you push down pencil brushes, for me, it doesn't have the same niceness as it does when you use it delicately. That's why I always use it very softly. And I don't know, I kind of am thinking that maybe I want shadow below the hedgehog. I didn't do that in the previous one, but maybe it would be like a nice addition to add some shadows here. I'm doing it on a different layer because I am not sure if I would like it, and it's better to just get a different layer. But I do like it, so we are going to keep it this way. And I actually am much happier with this hedgehog than the one that I did before. So this hedgehog is the star. We should name it. What should we name it? I keep referring to it as many different genders. First I said it was a she, and then I said he, and then yeah. If you have a name for it, just let me know. But yeah, we are pretty much done now. All I'm doing now is just random scribbles just to bide my time, and I don't want to stop doodling because it's so fun for me. So all I'm doing is just this one more thing because it's, it's just fun. So but yeah, we are pretty much done now, so I should stop before I ruin it. One thing that you should never forget to add to any drawing that you do is your signature. So do not forget to sign your artwork, so people are less likely to steal it, or if they post it to Pinterest or any other website, they will see that it is your artwork and they will find you. So this is pretty much of what I wanted to teach you today with the Hazelwood brushes. And I really hope that you enjoyed it, because I really did. And I think this is one of the most fun tutorials we did for brush set releases. Oh my god, look at that. For brush set releases. And I want you to have a good time with this. So I hope that you are enjoying it as well, and don't forget to tag me if you do use my brushes, because I love resharing them in my stories, and then add it to my highlights on Instagram. And also, you have no idea how much it helps me personally if you do buy my brushes, because I'm a small creator, and it's a let's just say it makes the world different for me to have your support. So I hope you had fun now, and I hope you could complete this tutorial even with we are just scribbling descriptions sometimes. And I hope you learned something today, and I hope you will have a really, really great rest of the day. Yes. Goodbye for now.